In the tapestry of life, where every thread holds a story, America in black and white emerges as a haven for the voices echoing through the heart of our communities. In this podcast, we wade through the rivers of our collective experiences, celebrating the vibrant hues of change brought forth by the whispers of hope and the roars of action. It's more than just a conversation. It's a journey into the heart of our society, illuminated by the light of those daring to dream and do. Join us, and let your voice be the melody that guides us toward a dawn where every color finds its place in the masterpiece of our shared destiny. Together, let's paint a future brimming with the positives that dwell in our minds and the actions.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of America in Black and White, where we discuss the issues that plague the underserved and marginalized communities and how we can best help in solving these issues. Tonight, we have a very special guest. We have we have Dr. Moses McKenzie Jr. Dr. McKenzie currently serves as a vice principal at John F. Kennedy High School in Paterson, New Jersey. He has a very exclusive branding statement that I think everyone should hear, and that is he chooses peace over pennies. Again, he chooses peace over pennies. He also was able to move the most dangerous building in the Paterson Public Schools to safe status. He was able to move his previous school from comprehensive status in the state of New Jersey. Dr. McKenzie is an inspirational and motivator, and he motivates others around him to succeed in life no matter what comes. And he always stays prepared for any circumstances that may come his way. His current mindset is to inform Black men about mental and physical health. Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce you to Dr. Moses McKenzie.
Hey, how are you, sir? How you doing?
I'm doing just excellent.
I'm doing great. So glad to be back. So glad. So happy. Happy holidays to you.
Yes, sir. The same to you. Where are we going here? Let's bring this over.
Alrighty.
There we go.
All right.
All right. So again, we are welcome back to the show. I'm glad to have you back.
It's good to be back.
Is there anything that you'd like to add to your bio?
No, I am just excited. I'm very happy, proud of my transition. I'm in high school now. I was in elementary, middle school last time we spoke. And so now I'm in the high school. So now I am dealing with individuals now who are 15, 16, 17, 18-year-olds now. So it's a little different environment, but I'm so thankful for the opportunity to be able to model what our students should expect in the future and to lead staff. We are one of the largest high schools in the city. We have around 1,900 students and around 500 staff members. And so I'm in charge of the freshmen. We have around 500 freshmen. So I'm just thankful that Paterson Public Schools and the Board of Ed, the cabinet, superintendent's cabinet chose me to be the vice principal to lead these group of individuals.
Well, let's jump right into the things you do and the motivations that you provide as a vice principal.
Okay.
Can you tell us what motivated you to pursue a career in education and eventually become a vice principal?
Well, I got my start in 2007. In 2007, actually, you know how life comes full circle. I was the phys ed teacher at the school I'm currently at right now. I was a phys ed teacher there from 1999 to 2007. And I was able to leave and my career, went out to Irvington, as I stated previously, and come back. And so now, as a vice principal, as a principal, as an administrator, it feels good to be back home. I'm actually back home, and I'm serving under the leadership of an amazing administrator, amazing principal by the name of Joanne Riviello, who has 49 years in the district. And she's a former teacher here at John F. Kennedy High School. And it feels great to be home because so many of my former colleagues, when I was a phys ed teacher, I'm now the administrator. And it feels good to know that, hey, how are you? I'm no longer the phys ed teacher. I'm your vice principal. So whatever you need, just come to my office. And it feels great every day serving that community. Feels great.
Oh, wow. So besides the staff, what's your familiarity with a lot of the students that are there?
Well, the majority of the students, believe it or not, I was their vice principal 2015, 16, 17.
Okay.
I was their vice principal when they were in the elementary school. And so now, we're looking at, let's say, 9, 10-year-olds. They're now, 13, 14, 15. And
Right.
it's like, I remember you. And then, hey, Dr. McKenzie, I used to be at school 4. I used to be at Napier. And I'm like, oh, my Lord. Like, you went from being 4'5", now they're like 6 foot, 6'2", 6'3", and I'm looking up to them now. But it is amazing to see how my career has come full circle. And I'm able to give back to the city that I grew up in, from the 4th Ward. It feels amazing.
Wow. But something else, I don't know if we spoke about this the last time you were here, but I think it's amazing when kids are now in these different schools, that's elementary, middle school, high school, and when they actually can see a black male figure that's in the schools,
Right.
that can give them some assurance and make them feel that much more comfortable.
Right.
In the area in which you're located, do you know how many people are on the upper staffs that are black men in a lot of those schools around in your area?
We have a solid nucleus of black educators, especially black men, educators in the city of Patterson of all, and my Latino brothers as well. I know for sure the D9, and for those of you who don't know, the Divine 9 is very well represented. We're talking from the Omega men, my brothers, to the Alphas, to the Kappas, the Sigmas. So the D9 is very well represented. And what Patterson has done is allow these black men and these educators to give back to the city of Patterson because we're so big. We have over 50 schools in the city of Patterson. And so where I'm situated, we have a high Hispanic population, okay. Right? So, I believe, the powers that be above my pay grade, but they have strategically set us and placed us in positions where we can not only be successful personally, but the community can also rely on us because we understand the community which we are serving because we are born and raised in that community.
Oh, wow. That's powerful because building communities means more than anything.
Right.
And when people can build their communities and you can contribute to whatever the growth of the community is, that says a lot, especially for the kids, because the kids understand what it is to have community.
Right. Very.
Can you describe your journey to becoming a vice principal, including any challenges you faced along the way?
My journey. One, I never wanted to become an administrator. I didn't want to become an administrator. I wanted to stay in the phys ed department. I enjoy athletics. I just wanted to be back. I often pick at some of my former students. I wanted to be a gym teacher. Mm-hmm. And so the more I got into the field of physical education, I often tell people we play in a gym. Right. We are physical and health educators. And so I wanted to stay in the shorts, the Jordans. I'm a Jordan fanatic. I want to stay in the Jordans and the shorts and not be able to put on a suit. But there were 3 men that saw something in me. Actually, there were 4 men that saw something in me when I was a phys ed teacher. Mr. Rich Roberto, Joe Pisano, and Frank Bonadies. They saw something in me as a phys ed teacher. But before they even saw my leadership qualities, there was a gentleman who was my fraternity brother. He's an Omega chapter now, named Mr. Jesse Dale. Our brother Jesse Dale from Maryland Eastern Shore, him and the assistant superintendent now, Mr. David Cozart, soon to be Dr. Cozart, saw something in me, and they pulled me from elementary to high school and said, listen, we see something in you, are you willing to, go into administration? Because of my demeanor. I like to make sure there's order. And I believe that without order, there can never be any success. And so as a phys ed teacher and dealing with kids, 50 or 60 kids in the class back in the mid 90s, early 2000, I developed a rapport where, if Moses and McKenzie walked into the gym, I was able to get control of the room. And that was due to my tone, due to my appearance. And I developed into this administrator who you see today. It has not been an easy road. I can say that. I am 25, 26 years in now. And I honestly can say, have I made mistakes? Yes. We all make mistakes. We all fall down. But I've learned not to make the same mistake twice. Only to make the mistake once. And through my journey, I've learned that, sometimes you have to adjust and adapt every situation. And so I'm talking from starting in high school, being an athletic director in high school, going back to alternative school, going to elementary, then back to high school. So that's my journey. So I have a full spectrum of experience from K through 12 now under my 25, 26 years in education. And being a vice principal and a principal is rewarding. It's very rewarding because some of those students who I saw come through the ranks and come through middle school and elementary school are now amazing individuals. Some are police officers, some are firemen. I have a couple of students who are teachers now. So my former students are now looking at me, Dr. McKenzie, what part of the curriculum should I be teaching? So now I went from disciplining and mentoring this young individual, male or female, now to molding them and pushing them into administration, because we need a new generation of administrators who are willing to open up their minds into where education is going right now. And believe it or not, this young generation are very technical. They're very technology savvy. So they understand technology, they understand AI. And so me as a older administrator, I want to be able to get some of that knowledge and share that knowledge. The most important thing about leadership is that the greatest leaders don't know everything.
That is so true. And as you were speaking about the younger kids and AI, me and one of my teammates, one of the members of my team, we were actually just chatting about that. And the thing that's so mind blowing is that these kids from the beginning of birth,
right?
Okay, for some strange reason, has got this innate knowledge about this technology,
right?
And so the thing is like, as I go along and as we move along, wanting to especially stay on top of it. I think it's always a good thing to think about, finding one of these really great tech savvy young folk to, especially to be a part of our team, because, that knowledge is definitely very, very valuable.
It is.
And so it's like, you can't teach that, but these kids just got it naturally.
They do. They do. I mean, I've seen kids, even before AI, I've seen kids backdoor Wi-Fi systems,
Mm-hmm.
through Yahoo. And how did you do that? There's an article out there now that technology is the new babysitter. Even when you out in society and you're shopping and you go to restaurants, you see the kids. I'm old school. We're 50 and older. Back in the day, you sat at the dinner table and it was time to eat.
Right.
Now, if the kids act up and they're short mind span, they just take the iPad, put the iPad in front of them, and they calm down and they're visually stimulated. And it's like, that's the new babysitter now, but that's where we are in society. So now you have to take that information and take all of the data and all of the studies and say, how can I implement these strategies and put it in the classroom to stimulate learning? And so this is where AI has come in to where, we have to stimulate learning through technology. I still believe in old school textbooks, reading, writing, penmanship. I still believe in that, and students need those skills to be successful and those strategies to be successful. But as educators and as teachers, we have to do our research as well. We're held to a higher standard as educators. We can't live in the past and Stone Age. We have to move into this new generation and understand how their minds are working. And once we understand that, and once we're able to get the technology and understand bits and pieces of the technology, but pull your team in and create a team that understands the concept of learning, you will be successful. So it's all about teamwork.
Yes, sir. What does your typical day look like as a vice principal?
Typical day. Wow, 4:30. I'm up at 4:30 every morning. I'm in the gym. I work out to around 5:45, home, get prepared. I'm on the road around 6 o'clock, 6:15. I'm in my office a quarter to 7. From 7 o'clock, I put on my computer. I'm like a machine. I put on my computer, get my cup of coffee or my tea from Starbucks. I sit and I read a couple of emails, but I look at my daily planner. I have a daily planner on my desk where I like to sketch out my mornings, because as a vice principal, especially in a high school, there may be certain days where I have to do parent meetings and sit with my TCs, my teacher coordinators, because I'm over a majority of the discipline in the building. I may have to jump into a parent meeting. And so I make sure that I block out at least 2 to 3 hours just for conferences. After that, I am into my day. I'm in classrooms around 10:30, and I'm doing walkthroughs, and I'm in the hallway for security purposes and make sure that the students see me. It's very important to be very visual, especially in a high school that has 1,900 students. And so that's my typical day. And if my colleagues, if we have a meeting with the principal or the superintendent or our assistant superintendent, we make sure that we are available, go into our meetings, our PLCs, and that's my day. And I'm out of the door around 3:30, 4 o'clock, and we do it all over again the next day.
So tell us, are the meetings with the parents, are they the same as they were as of yesteryear, or have they changed?
No, no, sir. No, sir. It is. It's a little different. The conversation shifts. So we're talking babies. So we're talking students who are, minors, still minors in high school until you turn a certain age. But we're talking 8, 9, 10-year-olds where, they should be learning even more and more engaged with the teachers. Once you get to high school, and I've said this, once you get to high school, the responsibility now is on you. Your parents are trusting that you're going to leave the home and go into a building where, some of your friends may know you. You may have to make new friends, and the culture of the high school is different. You're basically a young adult. And so you are responsible for walking through the hallways, getting to class on time. You got 4 minutes to move in the hallway. You have to be in uniform every day. So we have rules and regulations in high school where we're going to hold you to a standard. But the conversations when we get the parents in, it's like, what did they do? And, we document everything. We document, even if they come into our office, we have to document what the conversations are about, and that could be from bullying. It could be from tardy to class, or it could be coming to school late, or missing homeroom, or bringing in doctor's notes. But we want to make sure that we are properly documented, because at the end of the day, they must receive or should receive a diploma in 4 years.
Right.
And if you don't receive that diploma in 4 years, we messed up somewhere. So guess what? We got documentation in order to help you get back on the right road. And we really push our students to go to class, because you need 125 credits.
In high school?
In high school, you need 125 credits in order to get a high school diploma in Jersey. 125, which means you got to pass 4 years of phys ed and health, and 4 years of a science, 4 years of math, 4 years of ELA. And the students know, and every single time there's an issue, we tell them, listen, you may have failed. Guess what? We're going to make sure that you go to summer school. You have to go to summer school. You have to pass, because believe it or not, we want you to leave in 4 years. We need you to get out into the workforce and be successful citizens here. You want to support your mom and your dad and your family, but you have 125. So the goal is 125 credits in order to graduate here in Patterson. And we have a uniform policy, so we hold them to that as well. You need a polo, and you need either khaki pants or black pants in order to move throughout high school. And so for security purpose, you got to have your ID, and you got to show your schedule. So everything is technology. So you got your hard hand and copy ID, which you must wear, and then you have to have your schedule on your cell phone. And you got to make sure that you move and follow the rules and regulations according to the Patterson Public Schools bylaws.
So what kind of programs do you guys instill in high school now as to getting kids ready for college? What is that like?
Getting ready for college. Right now, there's a shift in education, and I even saw the shift when I was administrator in Irvington back in 2007. We grew up with, let's say, shop, working on cars, changing oil, motor oils, home economics, teaching people how to cook. We used to make the little, French toast back in the day. We used to do all of that. We moved away from that, and we went testing. We want data. We got to test the kids. Now it's making a comeback now. A lot of our students are not going to go to college. Let's just be honest. A lot of our students are not going to go to college, but they have a knack for being developers, entrepreneurs. You have entrepreneurs that don't have a college degree.
That is true. That is
or
true.
High school diploma. They created something that the masses needed, and they have become millionaires.
Right.
And even from music, look, to understand music, you don't have hip hop is across the board. Everybody loves hip hop, but hip hop was created by James Brown. He created something called the Four, and understand this is a gentleman that only had a 4th grade education.
Yeah,
4th grade, and he's one of the greatest entertainers ever.
Yes,
right. And so now we have this society where young folk can get their high school diploma and get right into the workforce and get into a company that will allow them to use their natural born ability. And I've been saying this since I was a phys ed teacher, and even when I was a kid in church. If I can see it, and if I can hear it, I can do it.
Yes, sir.
And this is how, we have to really move this generation right now. We have to stimulate their minds. What is it that you want to do? We have to answer that question first. How are you going to be successful? What makes you happy? And majority of the kids, especially our young Black boys, they love sports. They love the basketball. They love football. Okay, if that's what you really want to do, I have to shift your mindset into becoming a student athlete now.
Right.
Not just an athlete. I have to teach you how to get into the classroom, get those grades, pass those exams. And if you take care of the academics, You can get on that field, and now with the uprising of the NIL,
Yep.
and they're making millions in college right now. They didn't have that when I was at Montclair State. I would have loved to have some money. My family would love to have some money, some NIL money when I was at Montclair State, even though it's Division III. But now
Right.
there's an opportunity for these athletes of all race, color, and creed to make millions of dollars before they even get in or even make the pros. And
Yes.
so when it comes to education, how do we get the mindset of our individuals, of these individuals, Black, Latino, our Muslim community, our Arabic community, our Bengali community? What do you want to do? That is the question. And when I sit with parents, I ask them, where do you see your child in 4 years? Where? Tell me where. Because if you can't tell me as the parent, then I don't know how to help them here in the building where they're spending 6 to 7 hours here in this building. I want to be able to provide resources such as career changes. We have, we have music. We have in City Pass, we have cosmetology. We have some engineering programs. We have construction programs. So we have various avenues for our students to give them an opportunity to be successful. But the mindset is do I want it?
So let me ask you one other question though,
Yes,
as a follow-up too as well. Like what are some of the special programs or special things that you have created or are creating in your school that's innovative for your students?
Well, we've created a program. Actually, it's been a program that's been existing for a while. So we create our programs through mentoring, and so which is something that's very dear to my heart. I am through my fraternity, the Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. We use that platform to mentor our young boys into being success stories. And so what we do is we use our mentoring program, which we meet to our chair, Brother Hamilton and Brother Edmund Looney, and to the brothers of Lambda Upsilon. We are in a community where we're molding grade, I think it's lowest grade 3 through 8th grade, molding them and showing them what success looks like. And so if you look at the Black and Latino men that is a part of our chapter and embedded in our communities, and those who are educated, they are teachers, firemen, policemen, lawyers, prosecutors, defense attorneys, educators, phys ed teachers, coaches. And we're talking individuals that have gone on to even to be success and play in the pros. So what we're doing is trying to set the standard of excellence by raising these young men the proper way to be young men and move into manhood, which is one of our cardinal principles. But we're trying to use this program, and we have successfully used this program to ensure that our young men have a system where they can feel free to speak. If they are mentally tired from school, maybe they can speak to an educator. If they are physically not feeling well, they could talk to a brother who is a doctor, who's literally a medical doctor. If they're going through some legal issues or something's going on at home, they could talk to a brother who's a prosecutor or talk to an officer and things of that nature. So they have the support system. And so what we're doing is trying to combine that system of Omega teams and move it into the high school, because now that I'm in high school, it is needed in the high school because a majority of our young boys, even older men, we're dealing with depression.
Oh, yes. Mental health is very
mental health is very important
within our community.
Right. And so now, how do we motivate this young boy who probably didn't have a meal when he left school? When you get 2 squares, you get breakfast and you get a lunch. Went home at 3 o'clock and probably is not going to eat until 7:30, 8 o'clock the next morning.
Oh.
How do we help that young man who just said, hey, my dad is not home. My mom doesn't care. I'm taking care of my younger brother and younger sister. I don't know where I'm going to get my next meal. So how can we, as the brothers the men of Omega, how can we as the Divine Nine, how can we as educators provide environment and provide systems for them to be successful? And I think that's the challenge that's right now that we are facing. Listen, I love video games too. I love to play video games from the whole nine, but at the end of the day, it ain't about the video games. It's about where do I see myself in the next couple of years? And I always ask kids these types of questions. How are you going to make money? The good book says if a man doesn't work, he shouldn't eat, right?
Yep.
That's the good book says, right?
That's
and
what
so I
says.
take it and I go beyond that. So if a man is not working or can't find a job, what's the next thing he's going to do? What is he going to do?
He got to go to crime because he got to survive.
Right. So it's either fight or flight.
Yes, sir.
It's fight or flight. So I need you to mentally find a way and connect with individuals that will help you and help your family. And this is what the city of Patterson has done, and we are continuing to do through the leadership with the superintendent, Dr. Newell, and through our cabinet members. And what we're trying to do is provide systems for them to say, hey, you know, I want to be able to get a job. Do the Department of Recreation, giving them summer jobs, you know, to mentor and work with younger people as well. And we have all of the sports camps. So we are giving them the opportunities and creating environments for them. It's just a matter of, once I get all of this support, how do I take it home and tell my parents, this is what I want to do now? And so that's what we're doing here in the city of Patterson, in our community, and also with the churches, with the NAACP, with the fine work that they're doing as well. We are one melting pot. We are a huge melting pot here in the city of Patterson. And, you know, it is not easy. It is not. And we, you know, is there crime? Yes. Yeah, there's crime. But there's so much good that comes out of Patterson. And all we need to do is make sure we continue to stay on that path.
Well, you know, I think with what you guys are doing, especially with your fraternity and so forth, that really speaks volumes. And, you know, of course, we'll get into that a little bit later into the show.
Sir.
But I got to tell you, I think you guys are doing really, really awesome. And that's a wonderful thing to do in the community.
Thank you.
How do you balance administrative duties and supporting both students and teachers in their educational goals?
How do I balance it? Well, one, why are you have to answer the question, why are we in the field of education? Why are we here? We are charged. Once you become a teacher, you are charged with a mission. You're charged with a duty to teach.
Right.
There's a way to teach. There's a way to move kids forward academically. There's a way to rear kids when they're, you know, deep discipline issues. There's a way to talk to kids with your tone and your demeanor. I often use, when I was an elementary principal, this mantra, who are we becoming? So every day when we stand in front of them, who do the students see? Do they see, when they see Dr. McKenzie, do they see this Black man that is in a suit and a tie? Do they see who's a father? Do they see a gentleman? If they don't know the word doctor, I'm not a medical doctor. I'm a doctor of education. I still often have to explain that I'm a doctor of education, which means that I've gone through certain channels and providing them information how to get there. And it's not for everybody. But when it comes to the students and staff, I have to make sure that my students are safe first. Then I have to make sure that the environment of the building is safe and secure for staff and students. And so when I'm juggling modeling for my staff or modeling for my students, I believe that it's very important to create a culture and climate where everyone is safe, which means that when they walk into the building is clean.
Right.
Food is provided and ready that they will like and filled with nutrition. Right. So when they come in, they're greeted well. Good morning. How are you? And believe it or not, there has been such a change in the culture and climate at Kennedy because some of them know me from elementary, right? So when you're in high school and you know the shift of teenagers mentally, they all young boys and young girls. Once they get to high school, you can't tell them nothing. You can't tell them nothing. Good morning. One day it's good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Next thing you know, good morning. The next day, ain't got nothing to say. As soon as you don't have nothing to say to me, or you're not greeting me back, I make sure I find that student in the middle of the day or before they leave and say, hey, are you okay? I read demeanor. And so I want to make sure that when you walk through these doors of JFK, I don't care what building it is. When it comes to leadership, I want my security guards to be able to greet you. Good morning. Hey, we're going to have a great day. I say it over the radio to my security team. Hey, make sure we're on point. We have to move. We have special guests coming in the building. Please make sure that you are on point. If you need any information, please let us know. When it's time to move and transition through the hallway, and we move 1,900 students every 40 minutes.
Wow.
1,900. So whether you're going to CAF, library, phys ed, whatever class, wherever you're going throughout that building, we need to know that you feel safe and you're secure and you want to get to your destination. And so when it comes to our staff, we want to be able to support them as well. Any materials that they need, let's say if a Promethean board is not working, do we have another Promethean board to where we can push into the classroom, pull the other Promethean board out and get it fixed? Do they have enough textbooks? Do our students have the proper tools such as a Chromebook? Do they have the Chromebook to log into the Google Classroom? So there are checks and balances that we have to check every single day to ensure that they are properly ready for instruction. And so that's our balance between staff and students every day.
What initiatives have you implemented at your school that you are particularly proud of?
Initiatives. Well, I'm definitely proud of moving the Omega teens into the high school next year. We are in the process of making sure the proper paperwork is going in, and Principal Reviello is very excited. I'm very proud of our this was an initiative before I got there that was in the city of Patterson, our restorative circle, our restorative foundation circles and our strategies to get these kids to sit and talk. They have a lot of issues with one another. We've had, a lot of, online bullying, physical altercations. Listen, that's normal. But what we have done is we have been able to bring people to the table. I believe in sitting down and trying to iron things out. So I think one of the initiatives that's working very successfully here in the city of Patterson is our restorative justice strategies, and having these kids who may not like each other, but they must respect one another, right? Because we don't want them to go down the wrong path. We don't want no one to end up in, catching a case, or, have to sit in front of a judge, or, go to juvie. We don't want any of that for none of our kids. I don't care what race, color, or creed. We don't want that. But what we want to do is be able to have them at the table, look across the table at the person you say that you don't like, and say, you know what, this is what I don't like about you. You can tell me what you don't like about me, but we're going to respect one another. And once we get the kids to sit at the table, now we can get the parents to sit at the table. So the restorative justice is twofold. So once we get the kids to understand that we're not going to be rude or disrespect one another, and we're going to get along somehow with the support from the building administration, the staff, the security, and, the board of education, but also getting those parents, which we don't know nothing, what's going on outside the four walls of the school, but get those parents and sit down and say, well, this is my child. My child is struggling with this. Can y'all provide us with some help and get the right support systems in the home?
Let me ask you this, because you said something that triggered me. Okay. And that is, I had the teacher of the year that was out in Arizona, in Phoenix, Arizona. And he chairs a committee of some sort out there where they have implemented restorative justice out there. And he was telling me about their program. What is the premise of your school's restorative justice program? How does that actually work?
That premise is based on it is documented, it is written. It is a program where we call the circle, and we're
Mhm.
able to get all of the individuals. Let's say there's an altercation, a physical altercation outside. Let's say there's a fight. There's an altercation. There's some bullying going on. The premise of the program is to get the individuals that are involved, no matter whether it's via text, via phone call, via cousin, via family, mother, father, aunts, uncles, everyone that's involved with this situation that has caused a problem in the school, we're trying to get into the circle and
Mm.
provide support. We have to understand the why. Why is this happening? One, can the situation be fixed? Two, do you agree to how we're going to resolve the situation? And once we're able to bring everyone to the circle, we have a follow-up circle now. So now through my TCs, my teacher coordinators, once we have the circle with the students and the parents, my TCs then go back a couple of days, moving forward, next couple of days, 2 or 3 days, and say, hey, how are you doing? We go to the teachers. Have you seen any more disruptions? We go to security. Security, how do you see, is everything okay with Danielle or little Johnny? Is everything okay? And then we talk to the students too, because believe it or not, and I told a staff member this today, a student will tell you everything you want to hear if they trust you.
Mm-hmm.
Just trust them. And so that's where, we have to move our students too. Do our students really trust us?
Mm.
Do they really rely on us? Even though they may not trust mommy or daddy, but can they go to someone in that building and say, listen, I'm having a hard time? And believe it or not, it happens every day. There are certain students that don't talk to their parents, but they can talk to Dr. McKenzie. They can go to Principal Reviello. They can go to Dr. Friday. They can go to our administrative team. They even talk to security guards. A majority of our situations are resolved through security. Because
Oh,
guess
wow.
what? They're in the hallways and they can see, hear things. They're in the community as well. But like, hey, something's about to go down. We need to gather these kids. And soon as I hear that, I am calling everybody to my office. I'll call them in the hallway. I get the head of security. Hey, we might have a situation going on. We want to get ahead of the situation so we're able to have peace in our building. So that's how I do it. That restorative justice and those practices and strategies really work. It's just a matter of being consistent and
Okay.
implementing those strategies. Consistent of telling the parents, hey, we had another circle. Well, didn't y'all meet last week? Yes, we're meeting again this week. We need you to come in. If we have to get you on via Zoom, I need you to understand we're trying to have the best and set and create the best environment for your students, for your children. So when they leave John F. Kennedy High Schools and leave Patterson Public Schools, they can say, you know what? I want to give back. Well, I want to be an educator. I want to give back to the city of Patterson.
Well, how do you support students who may be struggling academically or personally?
Students who struggle academically, we have after school programs. After school programs, definitely in high school, we have credit recovery, where students are, if they failed a course, they go through another program called credit recovery to try to recover their credits that they may have failed a class, let's say freshman year. And we also have summer school. Listen, if you fail a course, you go to summer school. But we know summertime is for vacation. Listen, I just went 180 days of school. And
Mhm.
then I messed up. And now I got to go to summer school for another 30 days. I may not be able to go on vacation with my family. And a lot of kids, when they get to that sophomore, junior year, they forget. And so that's why we have an amazing guidance department. Our guidance counselors here in the city of Patterson remind those students, listen, you messed up freshman year. You got 2 courses you got to make up. You got to make sure that you go. And so we provide a process called credit recovery to help them get those credits back so they're able to move and graduate on time.
What roles do parents play in fostering student success at your school, and how do you engage them?
Well, through our PTO, we have our Mr. Fisher. We have parent coordinators there. So we have Mr. Fisher there, we have Mr. Hargrove, and we have Mr. Pierce. So we have 3 Black men.
Okay.
Former athletes, great basketball players, collegiate athletes, and a community person. He is like the cornerstone in the community. Everybody knows Mr. Fisher. We have these men that call the parents no matter what. They have personal phones, emails. We pull the parents in. We understand that parents are working right now, and if you look at where we are right now, we're now in the fall. Parents right now are trying to get that little extra money. We just went through Thanksgiving. I need a little extra bread on the table. Now we're going towards Christmas and New Year's. Now I need to work a little harder to try to possibly get those gifts that my child may need. So I got to do a couple of extra hours. And so what we do is we use our PTO, and with our PTO connecting with our building principal, we're able to reach out and pull those parents in and sit and find out how can we help them. Like we were able to give out some turkeys during Thanksgiving. We've seen a number of turkeys, I think over 60 turkeys to give out just at the high school of families that were in need. And so all our parents have to do is just either email us, call, or come to the school. That's all they have to do. I need your help. And, this is where pride sets in. And I've been there. Pride sets in. We're human. But you're going to come to a point in life where you're going to say, you know what? I need help. I need a little extra. And I've been there. And so this is how we use our PTO to bring our parents and our community stakeholders in and provide for them as well. Also through the community, through our fraternity, we are having our big dinner, our city dinner next week at Eastside through not only Brother Benji Wimberly, but through our fraternities, through the D9. We have this big dinner where it's going to be at the world famous Eastside High School, my alma mater, class of 92 to Fair Eastside. We're going to have this big dinner for the community where parents are going to be able to come and get a meal with their children, be able to get clothes, haircuts, and every kid that shows up will get a gift. And so this has been going on for years. I think I forgot how many years, but it's well over, I've been in education 27 years. It's probably 30, going on 30, maybe 35, 40 years. This has been going on at Eastside in the city of Patterson. So this is how we are giving back to our community, knowing that through the holidays is very hard, but we're going to be able to provide some support for some holiday cheer to bring smiles to those faces who need to smile.
In what ways has technology changed the approach to education during your tenure as an educator?
I think technology is a game changer. We have so many programs, academic programs that are implemented not only in Patterson, but all of our districts, whether it's urban, whether it's rural, or the suburbs. Technology is in the forefront, and so now we have to know how to communicate through Google. The Google Suites have been amazing since the pandemic, and so understanding Google Suites. Look at how we're talking right now. Who would have thought that the Jetsons back in the day would have predicted this right now? You know what I'm saying? Who would have thought that we'll be able to FaceTime each other looking at a cartoon that we love, me's George Jetson. Who would have thought that? And right now we can't live without it.
Yeah, you're exactly right.
We got to make sure that there's Wi-Fi available for our phones to work. The Wi-Fi is available for our computers to work. And so technology has become a resource where we have to make sure we stay in the forefront. We understand how to implement and how to properly use the technology. Even with, AI, AI can be good, it can be bad. There are back ends of AI that can literally change your voice and change your appearance and everything. But understanding how to use it properly is really taking over the field of education, because that's what students are relying on. They're relying on technology in order to be successful students.
Can you share any memorable experiences with students that have impacted your career outlook or philosophy on education?
Student. Yes. Currently, right now, the interim principal of Eastside in the city of Patterson, his name is Principal Paul. Principal Paul was my phys ed student.
Oh, wow.
He's a phys ed. He was in my phys ed class for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
When I was a teacher, his teacher.
Mm-hmm.
He is now a building principal.
Oh, wow.
And being that role model, he remembers everything. And so it's I get a little emotional because he didn't have to get into education. Right?
Right.
Born in Patterson,
Uh-huh.
and now is the interim principal, the world famous Eastside High School, where Joe Clark was the principal.
Yeah.
Really?
Could
Who
you
would have thought years
I was
later?
about to say, could you have envisioned that for him?
No. And Paul is just one success story.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I have 3 teachers who are former students of mine who are now math and ELA teachers.
Oh, wow.
I have former students who are now detectives,
Mm.
who are protecting me in this school and say, hey, Doc, how you doing, Doc? Hey, how you feeling? What year? You won't believe what you, 02. 02. Wow, way back. Yeah, I was in your class, man. I remember what you did. I remember how you were. I said, so now you're protecting me, huh? Yes, sir. I got you. If you need anything, sir. You know, going to a restaurant and getting your food and you see, are you cooking my food? Yes. Try these pancakes out, Doc. I made these pancakes. You were just in my phys ed class years ago, and now you have your own restaurant. Now you're an entrepreneur or working in a mall. There are managers in malls now. You know, this is the same kid,
Mm-hmm.
high school kid, you know, run amok, you know, have bad days, have good days. Now all of a sudden you're in a tie and a suit and you're running a store and closing a store
Mm-hmm.
because you grew up. You
Yeah.
understood, you as they say, you understood the assignment now.
Yes.
You know,
exactly.
I gotta make, I understood the assignment now. Now Dr. McKenzie and some of those other people who influenced me when I was younger, now that I'm able to give back. And that's just one of the success stories. But I'm so proud of Paul. He is an amazing success story. So that's just
Wow. How do you address issues of equity and inclusion within the school environment?
How do I address it? I look at the makeup of the building. So I look at start from the top. Start with leadership.
Mm-hmm.
Start from the top. So we know what equity is.
Mm-hmm.
You know what inclusion is. And so how, when we have a Hispanic building, pretty much 80% of the building is pretty much Hispanic, in a Hispanic and Muslim Bengali environment, we have to make sure we have the proper sources. And so we look at the teacher makeup. We look at the students who we are serving. And even, with the teacher shortage, we are trying to get those staff members who are able to speak Spanish to come and speak to our Spanish students. But I look at equity and where students are represented, and we're representing them well across the board. And so not only from our the Black culture, the Hispanic culture, the Arabic culture, the Bengali culture, the Peruvian culture, our South American cultures, having all those cultures in the building, are students happy where they feel supported, or do they know that there's someone from their race and their culture they're able to go to? And so I address it where I sit with my principal, and we sit with our leadership team down at the board to ensure that we have Spanish speaking secretaries, we have Bengali speaking and Muslim speaking individuals that are able to relate to these students. And I address it through following leadership. I believe in the chain of command. And so I don't move unless my principal knows, and she doesn't move unless the board knows. And so we want to make sure that when students look at Kennedy or come to Kennedy, or parents come into our school, that they see equity, they see a rainbow, they see people of color, they see people who are very well educated, and they see people who they can relate to. Not only during Hispanic Heritage Month, we make Black History every day.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So when they see, the Black population, whether it's male or female, or they see the Hispanic population, they can say, you know what, this feels like home to me. I'm safe and I'm happy here at JFK in the city of Patterson. That's how I do it.
Well, that's definitely that's really, really cool. So let me just say, all of that, I mean, wow, I mean, that was the work that you do is very impactful. And just listening to this first part of this interview, I mean, I am very, very sure that the people out in the audience that's looking at this have got to be feeling this, because right now there's a whole lot that's scaring a whole bunch of people. It doesn't matter what the background is. Right. There's an enormous amount of people that are being scared right now about education because there's no telling where it's going to go.
Right.
And so we know where it has been. We know where it was coming to be. But now it seems like we may be going back.
Right.
And so that's the problem. But when I listen to you speak about your school and your community, you guys are already on top of that. And I hope that with all of this, and everybody's praying, but I hope something can change that and not let a catastrophic situation occur.
Right.
But I'm really proud of what you're saying, what you guys are doing in your school. I really am.
I appreciate it.
Let's transition to your work in education.
Okay.
And tell us, what are some of the key qualities that make an effective educator based on your experience working closely with teachers?
Understanding pedagogy. It's simple. Pedagogy. Understanding pedagogy. That's one part of it.
Okay.
You have to be a servant leader.
Okay.
You got to be able to lead. You got to be able to inspire. You got to be able to motivate, like you said in the beginning. You got to be able to motivate individuals in education. When they're having a bad day, hey, come on, you can do it. I have bad days. I wear my emotions on my sleeve. I pull no punches about that. And I wear my emotions on my sleeve. And pretty much everybody knows. Students know. Staff know. My family know. If I'm having a bad day, they see it on my face. But at the end of the day, I want to be able to leave my job and say, I gave 100% today. Did I motivate someone to do better? Did I motivate, or did I model the right attitude to basically inspire a kid to do better for the rest of the day and come back and want to do it again on tomorrow? And so understanding pedagogy and knowing pedagogy and understanding your leadership style, but servant leadership is basically at the forefront. Being a servant first, lead with love, lead with your heart. Sometimes we, as educators, we lead with our head. We know it all, and we've been there. I know this, I know that. Yeah, but it's that moment may not be for you to say what I know. That moment may be for you to lead with your heart. Listen, I need you to maybe go this way. Let me steer you to the left. Instead of going to the right, let me steer you to the left. Hey, young lady. Hey, young man. Listen to me. Hey, I've been looking at your demeanor. Are you okay today? I need you to try.